We back.
All
We
right.
live again.
For those who have listened
This
to,
is the carry on. This is the carry on from week 2's.
have you watched The Wolf of Wall Street?
Fuck, I love the Wolf of Wall
Favorite.
Street.
Then the part what I'm going to refer to,
Which one?
I'm not fucking
I'm
leaving.
not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Dude,
We're
how's
back.
how's that bit when he takes them lewds and he tries to drive the car and
Yeah,
stuff? Oh,
that's
dude,
crazy.
that's wild. But we're back.
All right. For those who are following on, sorry, let me just fix this.
What do we got? Yeah.
For those who are following on from part one, sorry, it was flowing too good. We had too much good shit to talk about.
We had to change the battery. The battery was running out. It's
I didn't even
gone.
get to my notes. We didn't even get to boxing.
We
which
didn't
is
even get to boxing.
how
which
we
is
met.
That's it.
So this is part two. I'll just quickly roll the intro just for,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you hear that, something good's gonna happen.
Man, Biggie. You gotta love him.
Now we had a good chat about life experiences growing up, what made you everything going on in the world except for boxing and business and stuff.
We jumped around heaps.
We
man.
did.
We jumped around heaps, but
But
let's talk about boxing.
well, yeah, we'll start from the start. How'd you get into boxing? Like you said, you had a bit of a tougher
Yeah.
upbringing than most.
I think that's how my dad knew how to connect. He's a physical kind of. My dad wasn't really an emotional dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you have any boxing in it?
Dad used to train in Brizzy when he was. My dad was like an old school. Just picture my dad's German Irish, so the Aboriginal comes from my mum's side. So my dad's German Irish. His mum was an orphan adopted from Ireland. His dad is German, come over here around the war or something. My dad would have been 70-something this year. So, I've got half-sisters that are in their 50s from my dad's side. So my dad had me at like 40, I think. So different generation, different dude. He was just a hard. Anyone that knew my dad just knew he was just old school, hard, never back down sort of dude. So I had that sort of upbringing as well as the other stuff we touched on. And I think that was his way of connecting with me. Like, I played footy a lot from when I was little because I grew up in a small town, didn't really know any boxing trainers, but Dad always taught me how to box, how to stand, always had a boxing bag. The boxing bag was always hanging up in the house. I always had the gloves there. I'd come out in me undies, boom, 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 punch the bag. It was like a little thing when people used to come around. Dad used to like get on his hands and knees. He goes, "Yeah, watch this," and we'd shadow box around, and then I'd hit him, and then everyone would be like, "Oh," Dad would take the punches, but then he'd go bang, bang, and just open hand slap me, and everyone would be like, "Whoa!" But I used to love the fact that people's reactions at it, so I used to like boom, boom,
It's kind of
like,
building you up to perform and
I guess, and I always love the. I'm telling you, man, the 80s and 90s action heroes, I mean, they make you think you can lift a car and throw it, man. Like Van Damme movies.
Is that like Rambo time?
Rambo,
My dad was
Van
big Rambo,
Damme, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris, all these sort of guys, that was my era. Like, I'd have them on, I'd have the videos of them, and then when they used to come on TV, I used to stay up 8:30 or 9:30. The movies were on. I used to watch all their movies and that. So Kickboxer and Bloodsport and Rocky and Karate Kid. I used to love Karate Kid. My grandmother.
It would have been a big deal. Like, we're talking about how the internet came later, but that would have been a hub for all of that. Like, you can't just go on your phone and watch that shit.
Yeah.
It's not everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, it'll be on TV at this time. I can imagine you getting around thinking, fuck.
Yeah, it's 9:30. I got to watch this. I got to watch this. It's like 8:30. And then you knew if you didn't watch it,
You miss out.
kids would be talking at school about it. And then you would not. Did you watch Terminator? Yeah. No, not the fact that you hadn't seen it 1,000 billion times before, but
You missed it at that
Terminator
time,
was on, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't get to see Terminator," or Bloodsport. Did you see Bloodsport? Oh no, I didn't want to. Mum and Dad were over the neighbour's house, and we had to play with these snotty kids, and I didn't get to see it. Something like that happens, all right? But
So
yeah, I grew up on
I
grew up on that, and I loved Karate Kid. I used to have, my nan got me that on VCR, so I used to put that and I used to burn that motherfucker out, rewind that. Like it was on flat, man. Like Karate Kid, and how he was like a little nerdy kid and he was picked on, but he still. He was picked on and he knew he was outgunned, but he still had to go. Like he wasn't going to let these people. He didn't back down. And then when he learned, he was like, "Fuck you! I'm going to stick it to you." And I resonated with that. I'm like, because I was different, like ADHD, even though you're a little bit different. Like I was crazy and people liked me, but like I was just different and crazy. And the older kids didn't really like me because they got annoyed with me because I was too crazy. The kids around my age kind of had to deal with it because it was either deal with it or I was going to make your life hell because I was crazy. Yeah. So, but the older kids didn't really want to deal with it. So they would just like bash me or throw me on the ground or throw things at me. But I mean, I don't look back on that and cry about it. Like that's part of life. Who you are, yeah. I mean, it's part of life. Sadly, these things happen, and they happen in workplaces. Adults do it in workplaces. Adults bully each other in workplaces. You think these little kids are going to know any different? Like, I think it's part of experiencing it and growing up. And sometimes it gets out of hand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning any bullying and or anything like that. I think it's horrible, and I never bullied. And if I did, actually, I may have said things out of, like, I wouldn't call it bullying, but
if you look in hindsight, you think I shouldn't have done that.
I said some things that you could say were inappropriate. I treated people in ways, and I've even done it as an adult, you know what I mean? I've had incidents over the old Facebook where I've said things that I regret now and I would never ever say. But
like we said before, self-awareness is what makes us better.
That is, man. But
do you think like these sort of things, although like we don't condone them and we don't want them to happen, especially to our own, whenever you hear about crazy like success stories, like
a lot of it's built on that
and trauma, like Mike Tyson, his story, LeBron James, fucking,
what about
18-year-old mom.
Who's the Oliveira? Oliveira. His mum and dad picked up rubbish so he could
craziest story.
Go to jiu-jitsu.
Have you listened to Ngannou and Joe Rogan?
How he had to escape and pay all that money and
get on a boat.
He was like working in salt. There was a salt.
He was shoveling sand.
Shoveling sand.
He still goes back and does it. But like how he had to escape his country. He almost died a couple times. He failed his mission to immigrate. He got dropped off in the desert.
Yeah, and he had to walk all the way back. Oh, bro, that's wild.
Yeah, although we don't want these things like that and bullying, like look at the people it creates.
It does, man. I'm like, pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And and you hear about these places, these countries where it's like real hard in third world, and it's almost like they have no other choice. It's like
fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna lay down and die, or you're gonna fight? Like, look at Manny Pacquiao. That has to be one of the craziest story. That motherfucker went from like homeless boy on the street, and he's about to be the president. No, president. They have presidents, don't they? I think they have presidents. Do they have he's going to be the president. If we had
Jamie, we could find it out. But president
or prime minister or
either way, it's fucking crazy.
From picking up, like from nothing, you're going to lead a country. That has to be from rags to riches. That's like. And then that's a crazy story.
That's crazy in itself. And imagine the effect it has on other kids who may be in similar or,
I think Manny Pacquiao's in like, you don't even have to be Filipino to look at Manny Pacquiao and go, what he achieved is fucking crazy, inspirational.
If he can, why can't I?
And you know what? He remains so fucking humble through it all, man. Even the way he bowed out, you know how he bowed out, he's like, when he lost his last fight to the
I didn't watch it.
He lost his last fight and he posted out like a thing just basically saying, I'd love to keep going, but I just don't have it as much, and I'm happy with it, but now I'm ready. Like it was just the most humblest way to go. Well, we had a good run.
He's one of the greats.
We had a good run. We done some good things, and we're gonna move on.
We'll fucking lead the country.
and just be president. And that's about it. Like, it was just so humble the way he bowed out, and I just looked at that and I'm like, man, to keep that is crazy, man. And that's one of my biggest things. I try and be as humble as I can, you know, be confident in myself and my abilities and what I've achieved, but still try and be humble.
So
it's a hard thing, especially in this sport, like, because it's an ego-driven sport. Like, you got to think you're the best. You got to think you're unbeatable.
You can't have that bit of self-doubt.
Yeah, you can't have that self-doubt, because that self-doubt
can kill you.
And
get you killed.
Well, this is the thing. We ain't throwing water balloons at each other. Like, it's not dancing. It's not pool. It's not poker. It's a game. It's a game where you can die, and we've had some people that have died. You know, we had Dwight Ritchie die in sparring. He's a fighter from Melbourne a few years ago, an Indigenous fighter who was he fought Tim Tszyu and stuff, like, just sparring. He had an episode and had it, like, that happened the other year. We had like 2 fighters die within a year. One from up Toowoomba and one that was in St. Mary, not St. Mary's, out towards Ingleburn, and that he fought then. This was going back a few years, but
this is all in our area, Australia.
This is all within, like, I'm doing it while I'm doing it while it's happening
during your career.
I'm doing it and watching these guys around my weight, around the same age as me, and younger, die, and you see the things overseas of people dying of fires and that, and it did. I think every time that happens, I think every fighter takes a breath in and looks at it and goes, fuck. And then you kind of go, what else am I going to do?
That's it.
What else am I going to do? Like, this is all I know. This is all I have. And I mean, a lot of people struggle with leaving sports. You know, a lot of them go through depression, and a lot of them struggle because when your identity is so wrapped around something, and you take that away, it's kind of hard to find yourself again after it. And a lot of people struggle. And when I was out of it for so long and wasn't doing it and wasn't fighting and that, I lost a lot of self-worth, man. I was like, man, what am I gonna do and that? But luckily enough, I got into art, and I got into like other avenues, like my clothing that I do. I've been able to bring out some fire merch, man. I'm pretty stoked with it.
So ironic, we talk about all of this in front of the late great Kobe Bryant. That was his, like, he's been
Black
wrapped
Mamba?
up in it. Black Mamba,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
And
man.
then he talks about his struggles with leaving it. But what was your amateur career like?
Man, a lot of people don't know, but I was a gun amateur, man. Like, I missed out on going to the Commonwealth Games when I was 17. I tried out when I was 17. So I had 105 amateur fights.
Wow.
Fought all over the world. Most of my career I fought up in, like, I started when I was about 12, 13, fought all my amateur fights up until I was about 16 up in Queensland. Like, training under an old pro's house in, like, a little rectangle little thing, and then I went to another trainer and learnt some more stuff. And then I'm like, I want to go to the Olympics. So then I kind of moved away from home when I was like 16 years old, illiterate, moved away, like tried out for the Commonwealth Games when I was 17 years old. I lost in the final.
Wow.
To Luke Jackson, who ended up getting a bronze medal there, who's a pro now. He fought for a world title a few years ago. He fought Frampton. He went over to England and fought Frampton for a world title and that. So shout out to Jacko. So yeah, me and him had a bit of a rivalry. I say a rivalry as in it was a competitive rivalry, but never emotional, never
made you both better.
Yeah, we respected each other so much, and we knew it was always going to be a tough fight. And we had polarizing styles, and I was a bit more loose and flashy, where he was a bit more like guarded up. And
this was during your 17-year-old.
Yeah, this is like is and the Olympics and all that, through all that sort of period and that. And me and him went back and forward, and I ended up going to the World Juniors when I was 18 years old. I got a bronze medal there. So I was only a handful of Australians that have medalled at the World Championships, and I won a bronze medal there. I think Tyson Fury was a heavyweight there at the ones I went to.
I've seen the photos of him. He looks different, man.
I was like out on the piss with all the English team over there in Morocco. It was in Morocco, and some of the guys that have won world titles in the pros were at them same World Juniors as me. And then
speaking of Tyson Fury, shout out Sonny Bill, who's in training camp with him at the moment.
Yeah, I see.
Gonna have him on one day.
I seen him over there doing that, man. They're getting in some work. I mean. Tyson Fury is arguably one of the best heavyweights ever. I just want to see him get some other big fights just to cement it. He'll 100%. I rate him. But so I won a world bronze medal at the World Juniors and went through the whole trying to make the Olympic thing, and me and Jacko went all the way to the finals at the qualification event, and I ended up getting the win. I lost 3 in a row against Jacko, I think, and then I won the 4th one to make the Olympics, and then it was a big emotional thing. But I felt like in the same breath, like I know how much Jacko sacrificed so much, and I'm good mates with Jacko. We still talk now. We even were training together for a while in the pros, so I'm really good mates with Jacko, and I know how much he put into it. Like, I'm a kind of like free spirit kind of dude. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, yeah, whatever the fuck. Like, let's have a crack. Like, I'm going to go get whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's and written, I knew, like it's written. If I'm going to win, I'm going to win. And I always thought in my life, like, it'll be right. You'll be right. Yeah. Like, something will happen.
Is he like more planned and
He was real planned and strategic with it. And, you know, he was at the AIS for years. I got a scholarship at the AIS and I couldn't stand it. And I threw it in and went home. Like, he lived there for like 4 years. That's like, if anything can explain that, that's it there. He was able...
Different ends of the spectrum.
He was able to stay in that life of structure and regiment and be away from family and, you know, just be locked down in that. And when I was 18 years old... I left home at 16 years old. Like, I was working, earning I was 17 years old working concrete and earning like $750 a week, not paying rent. So I was getting $750 a week cash. And I was like living the life and boxing, and I got a lot of natural skill and talent, and that enabled me to win a lot of fights, you know, hardly even training. So I'm lucky like that. But, so I made the
Olympics. What happened?
Made the Olympics, went there, and I lost the eventual silver medalist. He lost to Lomachenko. So Lomachenko was the same. I was the same weight as Lomachenko through when he won his first gold medal. Yeah, he beat the guy who beat me for the gold. So I was in the same. He was in the change room. He was the last fight. They split it up into 2 sides, the draw. He was the last fight of the first draw, and I was the first fight of the second draw. So we'd only ever meet each other in the finals. Yeah. So unfortunately, I lost to him, and the guy who beat me got a silver medal. And I lost only like 3 points, and it was like even with 30 seconds to go on the fight. So it was a crazy fight. I remember watching it back. I've only watched it a couple of times, but I remember watching it back, and there was a lot of fights that were kind of boring in that. And it was English announcers, dudes that were announcing the fight, and they were going off because we were having a whack. Like, and he was a short, nuggety dude, and comes forward, and they expected me to run, but I just held my ground and went at it with him. And I just in my head, I'm like, you know, I've got to make a statement, or they're gonna, because it's hard to win fights, you know, being Australian.
You got to win-win.
You got to win-win, and you're always expected not to win when you fight in a top seed, you know. So I didn't end up winning, but I got approached and talked about going pro, and I never really thought I'd go pro because I don't know, I didn't really think I had the top style for it. And I never really thought I'd go pro, and I was like, there's no money in it. And, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do really. And then I got approached and then offered a contract with Top Rank, who's one of, if not the biggest boxing promoters in the world. You know, they promoted Manny Pacquiao for nearly all of his career. They promoted Mayweather at the start of his career until he went off by himself. They promoted some of the Ali fights. Yeah. Like, so they're the biggest boxing promoters in the world. And there's only 2 Australian fighters that have been offered a major contract with international promoters in the history of boxing, and it's been without any professional fights. Sorry, let me add that in. So I had not one professional fight
before the offer.
The offer. There's only been 2, and it's Robbie Peden, who's an Aboriginal, and myself. And now I guess Harry got one, Garside, but it's not top ranked. Yeah. It's not top ranked, but it's still big. I like shout out to them guys. They're doing a good job. But
that's crazy by Harry Garza. But there's also like social media and stuff now.
That's what I talk about. I'm like,
wouldn't have been as much of that back then.
I mean, we didn't have social media. We didn't have profiles like.
It's just what they saw there.
Sky Nicholson, Justice Honey, and Harry Garside. Harry Garside's got 39. Last time I checked, 39,000 followers. Like
even Ken Bosis is killing social media.
He blew up,
before,
man.
Even before,
I think did he have 50 something K or something?
I was following him for a while, but he's always he's all over his posting.
But you know what? When you get them international fights on them big stages, it bumps up. It always does. Like. You know, I got a heap of followers from them 2 fights that I fought on, fighting on the 2 Tim Tszyu fights, and I was lucky enough to be the fight before Mark Hunt and Paul Gallen.
Yeah.
So, and then I had arguably one of the best walkouts, I think the best walkout in Australian boxing history, and one of the best walkouts that people have seen all over, I think, but... Yeah, I was lucky enough to fight before then, and a lot of people were tuned in. You had footy guys watching, you had MMA guys watching, you had casual fans watching, you had international fans watching. So I got a few followers and that from them 2 fights, and so I'm lucky. But yeah, the social media and stuff, it's you underestimate it. So building a profile, that's a big thing. I
want to touch on a fight that I was actually at.
Yeah.
You were versing Siddiqui Momba. That's how you say his name.
Are you talking about the one at
Bro.
The knockout? Yeah, that's a scary
I was watching
one.
Mike. Mike was fighting.
Yeah.
I was mates with his brother
at
and
Bankstown,
stuff. At Bankstown.
Yeah,
I'll put this on the top screen. I'll just show you.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I remember this one. It's scary. Moving. We're setting him up with a jab. I changed levels. See, I'm changing levels. Oh, that's scary.
That's out like a lie. I was there.
That's the best knockout I've had. I've had a couple, but that's the best one I've had.
Isn't it crazy that I was there? I don't know who you were.
Yeah,
I remember you
podcasting there. You weren't even podcasting.
No, I've only started this 15 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh,
man. That's 2017.
Did you have a thought back then?
Of podcasting? No.
No, not
I
even.
hadn't even seen Joe Rogan, bloke in a bar.
How old were you back then?
17.
Oh, you were a baby.
I was still in school, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there watching Mike, and I saw you walk out. You had, might have been Eminem. What song did you have on?
I think
50 Cent or something?
No, I don't know. I didn't even. I just put whatever. I think it was. Wait, I think it was Scribe. Was it Scribe?
Sure.
Or maybe it was a Tupac song.
Tupac. It was Tupac.
It was a Tupac song. I didn't even pick it. I'm just like, put whatever on. I didn't even care.
I don't know, you're indigenous. I was like, this white guy's coming out to Tupac.
Yeah.
Who's this bloke? Like, everyone was here for you, man.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? I don't know boxing. And then, bro, I saw that knockout. I was, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
it's a pretty
gone. What's that feeling
pretty good
like?
one. You know what? Every time you hit a guy with a good shot like that, myself, every time I've hit a guy with a good shot like that, there's no resistance. It feels like knife through butter. Like it just hits.
Follow through.
It's like have you ever kicked a ball so perfectly and you hardly feel it touch your foot and it just hits on that right spot and it's like twing.
Yeah.
And it just floats. Yeah. Or you watch
like 10 golf swing.
Swing. Like you can do 150 swings, but then there's that one that just goes dunk, and then it goes and disappears, and then you're just like I didn't. Or the ones that you hit them hard and they don't go as far, and this one just goes. That's like them shots.
On technique, and you just calm.
That's like them shots, man. Like every time I've hit guys with them shots that had just been like that, it's just like it's a perfect shot, and it's meant to, and they kind of just move with the shot and they go down. That one, I hardly felt that shot on my hand. It just went.
What's the feeling like? There's two feelings I want you to describe. One is the crowd going crazy.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
I don't hear it much, eh?
No.
I'm
Are you just focused? Is he gonna get up?
When I knocked him out,
Yeah. After the knockout,
so when I hit him and I watched him fall, I was like, I looked down, and then I'm like, first looking at him like, is he gonna get up? And then I seen that he was out, and I'm like, oh, he's out. And then when I turned around, I knew the fight was over, and I kind of just stared at everyone, just like, I'm a fucking beast.
Yeah. It was that
sort of
feeling
thing.
like,
yeah. It was like I'm a fucking beast. Like it's that for a while, and then that kind of goes away, and then I'm the type of person like I never want to hurt. Like
I wanted to ask you, what's the feeling like seeing him and thinking back, fuck the way he fell there.
Yeah, like in that point in time, because you're in kill mode, right? And you just. I think if they threw a kitten in there, I'd probably bite it. Like you just, and I'm not an aggressive person. Yeah. Like I'm not that sort of a person. But in that frame of mind, it's just kill mode. But when that kind of goes away, I'm like, fuck. I hope he's right, man. Yeah. I hope he's okay. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are like me. They got fucking families. They got mums and dads. Imagine your mum and dad watching that. Bro, yeah. Imagine my kids watch my fight sometimes. They've never watched it live, but they watch it on video. Imagine if that ever happened and my kids are at home and I'm a Superman. I'm like Superman, Hulk, Iron Man, all wrapped in. They think I'm the most amazing person who's ever breathed in the earth.
Yeah.
Ever breathed air. Like they think I'm the best. So imagine seeing that for the kid. Yeah. It'd be so heartbreaking. It'd be so hard. And I hope my kids never have to see that. I hope I keep winning and winning and winning. And if the day comes where I do lose, because I've lost before. I've lost amateur fights, I've lost in life. I mean, losing a fight isn't as bad as some of the stuff that I've been through in my life. So, I'm not really... I think I'll come if the day it comes.
Take it.
I'll take it, and I think I'll be able to take it pretty well. I hope it never comes, and I'll do everything I can to stop it from coming. But if it does, I think I've got enough humility to.
That's something.
It. But I've never felt it in the pros. So.
Yeah, so it's hard to speak on. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm at a place. I think I'm at a place now where I'd be able to. Listen, I'm at a place now where I just wanna fight, and I want to
speak about what
I want to have good fights. Yeah, you're right.
Keep talking.
I just want to have good fights. I want to fight on big shows. I want to create memories. I want to have like crazy walkouts. I want to inspire. I want to inspire my kids first and foremost. I want to inspire my kids to, chase their goals and achieve, and then I want to inspire maybe other kids or no, I don't talk on it like I'm somebody. Oh, I'm here to inspire, but if any, like I'm human.
Why not inspire instead of do something
else, the opposite? Yeah. And like, just that I'm human. I am the most human person ever. I run out of toilet paper just like everyone else.
And you go to Woolies and there's none left.
I go to listen, I don't know, like I am just a normal person with the same issues, the same sort of things. I struggled. Listen, through COVID, I struggled. I think you know what? I think that'd be a good thing if more people in higher positions come out and said, hey, this shit affected us too. Yeah. COVID was hard for me too, and I own a house and and blah blah blah. I wasn't able to get work. I wasn't able to travel for my movies. Or if people actually come out in higher positions and said, "Yo, it did put a strain on our relationship. It did put a strain on our life." Like I am angry. I am feeling sad. I am feeling pressured. I am feeling. I did get the vaccine. I didn't get that's a crazy thing at the moment. Do you even want to fucking touch on that? That's a sticky. Yeah. That's an explosive. After boxing, we'll touch on that. But
So that was 2017. You're going on a crazy run here. You're knocking people out. You're winning UDs. We talked about in part one. If you guys want to look at the break that you had from 2016 to 2018.
Yeah.
From 2018 to 2020. My bad.
Yeah.
What made you get back into boxing? Because you were if I'm not mistaken, you're 27-0 now.
Yeah.
So at that point, you would have been 25-0.
Yeah, I had 2 fights.
And 1 draw.
Yeah. No, I hadn't had to draw that. That was my first comeback fight.
26-0 at this point.
Yeah.
What made you come back after almost 3 years off?
I always wanted, like, I hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve. Like,
what's that?
I wanted to fight for a world title. I still want to fight for a world title. I want to get a world title shot. I want to fight for a world title. I want to win. I want to win a world title, obviously, but I want to fight for a world title. There's guys that are getting in positions. I should have been in a position for one a long time ago.
That's what I'm gonna say, bro. I'm looking at his record: 27-0-1.
Ex-Olympian. Listen to this: ex-Olympian, signed to Top Rank. Then I was with MTK, the same managers and the same team as Tyson Fury, and I don't know. It's baffling. It's like the Da Vinci Code. It just doesn't make sense.
When Mike told me, I'll get you Flemo, and I'm like, all right, I'll look into it. Like, sweet. And I'm doing some research. Like, what the fuck?
How do I not know?
I'm gonna get this guy on my thing. 27-0.
But when you go on and actually read some of the articles and some of the things, Victor Archinian was a world champion back in the day from Australia. He's from Armenia, and that he was at 51 and 55 kilos. When I was like 18 years old, I was his main sparring, and at that weight, he was like a dominant force. Like he was one of the pound for pound. He had every belt, like Kambosos.
Yeah.
He had every belt, but at the lighter weights. I was his main sparring partner for some of these fights. I sparred Choc. I've moved around with Zarafa. I was Garth Wood, who beat Mundine in the first fight, and then Mundine come back and beat him, I think, 2 times again. I was Garth's training partner for that fight. And he's fighting at super middleweight, and I'm a super featherweight. Like, I've been in with these guys like Chris John was one of the 50-0 he was. He was 50-0 world champion from the Philippines. Chris John at featherweight. I was over sparring him at like 19, 20 years old. Like, I've been in the game for a long time, even when I was amateur.
How old are you now?
33.
How young are you now?
33, turned 34. But I don't you know what? You know the saying, age is just a number? I'm telling you, I'm fitter. I feel I'm stronger. I know my body. This is the thing. I know my body more now than I've stopped eating a lot of meat. You know that?
What's with this here?
Hey, it's all good sometimes. Listen, I think we need to reward ourselves sometimes. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. But listen, compared to what I usually do, this is nothing.
I think the most important too is
there has to be a balance.
Your here is probably the strongest ever. That has been.
Listen, in aspects, yeah. But in other aspects, my mind has been, like I said, man, this COVID shit has been the biggest challenge. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd ever be here, but we'll get on to that. We'll talk about that. But, yeah, the boxing, I just wanted to get back. I was trying to figure out what team I was going to go with, and then there was a few talks, and then I met Jay, and I was, in the little bits that I was, involved in this kind of the gym and Dreamtime Fighters there. I was one of the first fighters there. And
is this a promotion, Dreamtime?
It's the gym and stuff we got. My trainer Jay, who's training me now, and it's just a little team we got going, and
helped you get back.
It helped me get back. He's been Jay's been a godsend. He's helped me get back into it, and giving me we got a gym to train, and he's calling me up, where you at? Like, someone on my ass, get down here, and someone that doesn't take my shit, like, get down here and train. You know what I mean? Man. No, yes, man. And
so you come back, you had a draw, and we'll get to the entrances to these fights as well. As to what you can say is a rejuvenated fighter or a rejuvenated man.
Yeah, for sure. My values had changed. I train and keep myself ready all the time now. Like, I could stay
ready so you don't have to get ready.
I could make weight. Like, before I used to blow up and used to not, like, I'm constantly moving and doing stuff. Yeah, I'm not doing marathons and doing 18 round sparring and spending 3 hours in the gym doing strength and conditioning, but I keep myself active. I'm moving. I go over to the park and I'm doing chins, dips, push-ups. I go for bike rides with the kids. I go for jogs. You know, I shadow box at home. I put some music on. I put the yoga on. I do some routines of yoga. I do the exercises, you know, the cardio burns. I do that sort of stuff. I do it with my kids. Like, so I stay active. I try to eat better. I do have my occasional, how you been? Occasional, like, I love KFC. Listen, I love junk food. Listen, that's the one thing. That's my Achilles heel. I loved junk food, but now I don't know. Like I said, I know my body more. I feel it now, man. I feel it when I felt I was eating way too much meat, and now I've dialed it back. I think about it back in the day when we used to hunt. There were no freezers. There was no you could. It was almost like a delicacy, like meat hunting for meat. You didn't always bring something home. You know what I mean?
There's like a big campfire and a party.
And then you have the meat and you share it with the village and you eat it and you may preserve little bits but it was like, it wasn't meat with an accompaniment of potatoes and broccoli. It was potatoes, broccoli, beans, whatever the staples were, and you got a little bit of meat.
True, yeah.
And then you may not eat meat every day. Like it wasn't bacon for breakfast.
The main diet was the vegetables.
It wasn't bacon for breakfast and turkey for lunch and flamin' mignon,
I love
whatever
you
they
put it.
are.
I haven't thought about it like that. Now you got the big steak, a little bit of broccoli, potatoes. But yeah, back in the day, in the hunting days,
it was the opposite. You had your staples. You weren't eating bacon for breakfast and like cold ham for lunch and deep fried fish fillets.
It'd probably be accurate to say the average person is probably back then a lot stronger and fitter and healthier.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of, listen, I'm not saying that everything,
advanced and stuff.
I'm not saying that everything back in the day is perfect and we need to wind back the clock on everything and bring back horse and cart and
history
you know
is
what
important,
I mean? But I think I think we eat way too much bad shit. Like, look at the comorbidities for COVID. It's all overweight is one of the largest, like one of the biggest comorbidities of death, like causes of death when COVID. And, you know, I think a lot of us, we don't live how we should. And whether it's spiritually, whether it's mentally and emotionally, whether it's like within the society, within what we're eating and our diets, our sleep patterns, how much. Listen, this is one thing that I've realized so much. Remember back in the day, it was like, stop watching that. You rot your brain. Ain't that the fucking truth now? Just like junk food for your body, the information that we're watching is fucking junk food for our brains.
I just started vlogging and
True.
I was talking about very true. I did a shout out to Matty Georges. If you're watching this again, I shouted you out in my vlog when I got here, talking about how much I love you and appreciate you letting me use this space. And one of the sayings I said,
cheers, bro,
was my coach Wilson. Shout out to my coach Wilson too. Used to say, "Hang around shit, you start to smell like shit."
Yeah, it's crazy.
Surround yourself with shit. Watch shit, you start to be shit. What you feel
but
your
you
brain
can find
with
it.
is
But tell me that you don't feel shitter when you sit up watching shit things, and you don't feel like you've accomplished anything when you're watching shit. Like when you're watching something that gets your brain working and information and maybe gets you to understand. Bro, I went through this stage where I was watching some of the deep, dude. Listen. The rabbit holes that the rabbit holes that I've made will make Bugs Bunny's fucking brain backflip.
What's the deepest? Everyone comment this as well. Part 2 comment.
Deepest rabbit
hole you've been into. What's the deepest rabbit hole?
Man, I find that I found the one that I'm in. There's a few that I'm in at the moment. One of the big ones I'm in is this Epstein thing.
Yeah,
that thing's fucking with me, man. There's some crazy. And listen, let me move this a little bit. There's a lot of information out there. You can find anything to support anything. Like if I say, oh yeah, there's vampires in Blacktown, everyone will be like, oh, I could find some crazy person to support my
confirmation bias. Yeah,
exactly. You can, and that's the thing with the internet. You can find anything to support anything,
even if it's not always true.
Exactly. But when it's coming from some certain sources that, you know, there's a lot of things. I think a lot of people have lost trust in media, and I think a lot of people have, and a lot more are and will. And I've been off that. I've been off mainstream media for a long time. And the stuff that you find out there, you can find shit everywhere. I'm not saying that, you know, all the stuff that comes from mainstream media is shit, and
There's
I'm not
an
saying
agenda,
that.
clearly, yeah.
But there is in certain things, and just being open to that other information that's out there, and that there's some crazy shit out there.
You got to
man.
find a balance of like being aware of the things that have an agenda, being aware of things that go on, like the Epstein thing and other things, but also trying to stay present and like move on with your life and not get too wrapped up that you're not moving anywhere.
Because you can't control it. You can't get. This is the thing.
Consume you.
This is the thing. Like, yeah, it's good to go down the rabbit holes and that, but what do you do when you get down there?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then for some people, I think it turns into obsession, and they find it. They struggle living their life, and everything becomes.
They go out to dinner and they're like, this thing of Epstein, this kind of thing.
It's and listen, it's good to talk about it. Like, I've talked to people about it, but you know, I don't let it. I definitely don't let the Epstein thing affect my life and that. But yeah, the COVID thing, that was definitely a big thing for us.
Before we carry on too much of this, back to boxing real quick.
Boxing.
You had your UD, your draw, you had a win after that. And now you're scheduled to fight Billel Dib.
Yeah. So
Billy Dib, you know Billy Dib?
Billy the Kid Dib?
Yep,
Billy the Kid Dib.
The older one. He's married to my first cousin.
Oh,
technically we're family. I saw him the other week.
Wow. So me and Billy Dib, Billy the Kid Dib.
Yep.
He was. I trained with him from when I first moved down to Sydney. We're like Body Punch. We're good. We're like family. Me and the kid. So big shout out to the kid. We've done the amount of rounds that we've done is I couldn't even calculate. Close to as many hot dinners that I've had. We've done so many rounds together, and you know, a lot of the fighter that I become is a lot to do with him, and you know, learn a lot from him. You know, over the years, and he'd always been. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
I've always got a lot of love for him and his family. They'd always been accepting. They'd always been nice. Opened up their door to me, and Yui's coming through too. His younger brother.
Good. I've watched him.
Yeah, I watched Yui have his first ever amateur fight at Bankstown PCYC. I seen, and I've done the amount of rounds I've done with Yui is the same amount.
So you're fighting Billel.
So Billel, it's a different Dib family. And so Billel, so Ahmed Dib is. Have you seen the lawyer? That's all. So it's Billel is Ahmed Dib's younger brother. Okay. So Bilel's the same age.
Because I saw Billel is a lawyer. So they're a lawyer family.
So Ahmed's the lawyer. Bilel's accountant. I think they're a really switched on family. Like all of them have got degrees and stuff, and they're really doing really. They were
Are they related to the kid?
No, I don't think so.
They box in the same gym?
Box in the same gym. Okay. So they come down the same. So that's a bit. So we got so many Billies and Billels in the gym. Like there's like when everyone's like Billel the kid, Billy's the kid. Billel's Billy H was the coach and all this. Like there was so many different.
You're fighting Billel.
Yes, ex teammate.
What was ex teammate? It's all. You said good person, so there's no bad blood. It's just
never. I don't have bad blood against anyone that I fight. Like I'm here to fight. I'm here to make money. I'm here to, you know, put on. Like I said, I'm here to put on good fights.
And I make memories. Ngannou and Gain. I don't know if you follow the UFC. Yeah. That's happening. They're ex teammates. It's bad blood.
Yeah, they're going at each other. They're talking. Oh, who you got?
don't know. I was trying to talk about it the other day. Like Gain's so technical and
Ngannou's just got scary power. If he touches you at any point within 5 rounds, you could possibly die.
Exactly. But Gain can he's big enough and long enough to
did you
move
see
in
that
and out.
Did you see that elbow combo on the pads?
Yeah. he does was a thing of him doing Muay Thai and he lands like a spinning elbow. That's crazy.
He did, and he's very agile for someone that large too. And I think Ngannou.
That's what I'm saying. He can move in and out.
Well, this is the thing. He's as big as Ngannou.
Yeah. He's got that size and ability to move. But Ngannou will just come up.
He just gorilla rushes you he just
he'll throw maybe 15
no,
and you're probably going to get
and that
caught.
wasn't a racist thing. I'm just
his build
he's like silverback gorilla, and he throws up the shots that he touched that other
Stipe.
guy with. The other one, and he cops a shot.
Over him.
Right, the uppercut. And even when he got hit by Stipe before that, and Stipe comes in, and he just boom catches him. Or what about Bam Bam Tuivasa fighting? Big shout out to Bam Bam. We got to get Bam Bam on the show too.
Yeah, I love that. He's in Dubai at the moment.
Yeah, I know. When he's back, we'll try and get him on the show.
I talked about him in one of my sports shows. I hope he seems like he's ready to take it to the next level.
Well, this is a big fight for him. He's fighting the Black Beast,
Derek Lewis,
and he's a top fight. He has
top 5.
He has a win over Ngannou.
Nah, I think Ngannou beat him.
I don't know.
Yeah, he just had a big win not that long ago. He has a win over
So Gain stopped him the last.
Gain beat him, yeah. But he's top 5.
He's the guy's got the most knockouts.
He's up there.
He's
championship contender.
Yeah, for sure. At any point, he's fought for a world title.
Yeah,
so this is a big
Bam Bam,
big fight for Bam Bam.
If he wins this, he might go on to fight maybe Stipe or John Jones. You don't know. If he wins this, it sets
Is John Jones coming back? You reckon?
I think so. Yeah.
You reckon?
I think he will. Yeah.
Is Ngannou going after this? He's not happy with his money. Is he going after this? What do you reckon?
It depends if he wins or loses. If he wins, I think he goes.
If
he wins, he goes. If he loses, it kind of brings down his value. If he goes, he's not going to get that 50 mil, 100 mil if he loses. He'll have to try and get that win back.
Where was he going to get that from? Who's going to pay him?
Tyson Fury keeps calling him out.
Calling him out.
Tyson, not in a disrespectful way. He's saying, Ngannou, let's do this. We'll fight boxing match, UFC gloves.
What?
That's a big fight.
That's scary. But it's doable. You know what? Not in my wildest dreams would I ever see thought I'd ever see Logan Paul and Mayweather fight.
First it started with Conor and Mayweather. That was crazy.
I didn't think. Listen, the Pauls brothers have got something, dude. I don't know what, and I think everyone hates it. Listen, everyone hates on it, but what?
You can't, man.
Listen, they're making it's working. Is it not working? You can't you hate on it because you can't do it. It's crazy, man. What they're doing, they're changing. They're almost changing.
The game.
They're like the Kim Kardashians of combat sport. Like Kim Kardashian changed the way women's bodies shaped. Now they're like the Kim Kardashians of boxing. They're just changing the boxing game.
In a way,
they're fighting everyone. They're a fighter, fucking fight. Bro, they should get Tom Brady up there and fight Tom Brady. That would sell some papers, bro.
They're showing that.
They're fighting anyone. Basketball players, UFC fighters, they'll start pulling people out of the crowd now.
It's all about, but it's showing it's all about building your IP, building your brand first. And
that's a big thing, man.
But it's good for as you see him, Cambosis, like we said, is all over social media. Garside, he was able to land that. He's obviously a great fighter, but he's able to land that promotion. He's well known already.
He's got something.
So they're showing that this is the formula.
If I can give any advice to any young fighters, you gotta even if it's on a local level, you gotta create clientele, like a subscribers.
Branding,
subscribers. You got to have something. No one wants to see the same old fella come out and I'd like to thank me trainer. And no one wants to see.
That's why we love Bam Bam.
Bruh, that's why everyone likes Bam Bam, because we're known for being loose. We're known for being crazy, and Bam Bam just he gets up there. You never know what the fuck he's gonna say on the mic, and
Dana loves it,
bro. They could. Listen,
the person that throws in the shoe and the can, Happy Dad, that's Nelk Boys.
Oh,
And the chain,
right.
you threw him the chain.
All right.
That's milk, boys.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
You
that's
love
sick.
him.
That's sick. I'm gonna get onto him now. But yeah, they like Bam Bam because it's something different. He's like the shoey dude now, and a lot of people know me as like they lived like the walkout, like the dude that had the walkouts, and the Easter show dude. How I had the speech after my fight where it was like the Easter show. Have you seen that?
What was that one?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No.
I got to show you afterwards. The World Sports and stuff replayed it. It's like when your multi comes in, and I was carrying on going. They asked me what you're gonna do, what's your plans now, and I go, I might go to the Easter show, and I carried on, and then it got like they made a meme sort of thing out of it. So that was another thing.
Attention sells, man.
Well, it went semi-viral.
Attention and authenticity.
The shoey goes viral, and
now he's gonna build a business off it.
Well, now Ty, they don't know what song he's gonna come out. He come out to Barbie Girl last time, and then if he gets the win, he's gonna do a shoey, and he's gonna walk up the tunnel, and people are gonna pour shit in his mouth, and it's interesting, and I think when they they know I'm going to come out and they know I'm going to put on a show. They know I'm going to have like an Indigenous walkout. So I think people like that. I think it's something different. I've only ever got positive feedback about it. So
let's finish up on boxing so we can get into your artwork and merch and business. So this fight is February or March?
End of March is looking like. We're still sorting out the ins and outs of it. Yeah. But it's looking like end of March, and I'm pretty sure he's come. He's down here now training. I think he lives up in Gold Coast now, so I think he's down here, and I think he's training, and so am I. So we're just keep ticking it over, and I'm gonna be ready, whether it's him. Whether it's him or whether it's someone else. I've called everyone out. I said it the other day. Like Jackson England's another guy with titles, and respectfully.
I haven't looked at rankings and stuff, but what's the next step to get to where you need to go?
All I got to do is win another regional title, defend it, and I can be top 5. So it's easy to move up. Yeah, it's easy to, like, if you get a world title, regional title, and get a couple of defenses, you can make some moves in that. You fight the right guys, and you fight a top 10, top 15 guy, you leapfrog a lot of people. So I'm just trying to get a title or two here, because it's easier to get them in. They're here.
You're here anyways.
I'm here. You're here. You got a title. I want it.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's
the plan.
And that's the plan. And then I don't know about travel. I don't want to travel, but I will if I have to. I don't like traveling. I've been to about 14 different countries.
See what happened to what Cambosis went through. It sucked.
Yeah.
The long travel being stuck there.
Dude, I talk about this a lot, and me and Cambosis have had our differences in the past, but you can't deny that kid, every time everyone counted him out, he won, and he went over, listen, when he beat Selby over in England to become the mandatory, that was a big thing that he done. Like, Selby's an ex-world champ, come up that weight, and he was...
And Mickey Bay as well.
Mickey Bay, but that Selby one, I think, is a lot more credible than the Mickey Bay win, because Selby's been an ex-world champ, and he's moved up. And if Selby won that fight, guess what? He was fighting Tefimo. So, they both earn it, and then Cambosis went over to his backyard and got the win. So he deserved it.
Fight,
he deserved it, man. He deserved it. But in saying that, he's had a team since the beginning. He's got like a great family. That's it. Like, the guy's been living overseas, and his family's just been here. You know what I mean?
After, yeah.
Look, and they're looked after. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I've got a family at home. I've got bills. Like, he obviously has enough support that he didn't even have to worry about rent or bills or car payments or nothing like that. Yeah. I couldn't be MIA over in a country not earning any money. How would I pay my bills? Like, how would we don't have any support. We don't have any family. So how could I stay away? Who's going to look after my family? So, George deserved he done everything he needed to get himself in that position. But he was the best person. Everything worked out for him. Like, the fight getting postponed and postponed and postponed, and that. It was only going to fuck with Tefimo more than Cambosis. Like, Teofimo was already looking past Kambosos at bigger money fights, so it was annoying that the fight got all cancelled because he wanted to move on to bigger fights, bigger money. So I think everything played perfectly into Kambosos' hands, and he went out there and he fought the fight of his life. Listen, and it doesn't matter if everything goes your way, you still got to go out there and throw the punches and outwit and outfight, and he did that. And he outwitted, he outfitted, he outwitted, he outfought, he outboxed. He done an amazing. Listen, I don't watch much boxing. I'm usually a UFC dude, but I put on the boxing when it was a good fight. I put on that fight.
Yeah, that's a good
I put
fight,
on that fight to watch that fight because I was interested in that fight, and that got to watch that too. I was like,
Got you
wow.
buzzing.
I was like, wow, man, wow. Because there was points in time where me and him could have fight. And there's, man, who knows? There could still be a chance that me and him could fight. Because honestly, if he was to come back here and to fight an Aussie back here, who would he fight?
Just exact same weight?
He's a division up, but
Not much, is it?
I'll be a Huckleberry. Like, I'll up. I can't go down anymore, but
If
I'll
it was
go
to
up.
come back, say end of the year.
If he wanted to fight back here and he didn't have anyone to fight him back here, and he wanted to make an Aussie fight back here, I'd take it for sure. Who else is he gonna? Who else anyone even?
The fight?
Who else could give him a fight? Who else does anyone even want to see him fight really back here? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like.
In saying that, without looking past, Dib. He's obviously a great fighter.
No. Listen, that's a big what if, man. He's up chasing bigger fish and doing his thing.
Yeah.
That's a big what if. But I'm saying, if it was ever, who would it be?
Yeah, I mean, in saying like that, like
logistically,
what happened with what's going on with Dib and what you want to do. What's without looking past Dib? Obviously, what's the perfect
plan?
path? What's next? Yeah.
Fight Dib, beat Dib, get a regional title.
Who's holding that at the moment?
I think Dib's still got it, or they'll put one up. We'll get one put up if there's
in
this fight. Yeah, it's a worthy fight. You know, it's a worthy fight for any of the regional belts. And then I think a boxing page put up Jackson England's page, picture of him, and he fights over in WA. I know his team and that, and I just put out a friendly, like, you know, old bull wouldn't mind one of them belts kind of thing. Old bull wouldn't mind it. So if the young bull wants to challenge him up, and he's like, and I said, with all respect, because that's how I am. Yeah. Like, if I got a problem with someone, I'm bringing you or I'm messaging you. You know what I mean? I'm not that sort of a person. Like, I've called Billel. I've sent him messages. I sent him Billel a message the other day saying, I hope your family's well, I hope you're well, and I hope you're training well. Tyson Lantry, who I fought my last fight, we talked to each other before the fight, like well before the fight, like years, and then the fight happened. I didn't stop talking to him just because the fight happened. Yeah. Like, we obviously did our thing, and I respected. But halfway through the training camps, I sent him a message. Hey man, I hope the training camp's going well. I hope you're training well. Hope you get through the camp injury free. Hope everything's good, and I wish you all the best. Because at the end of the day, I don't want, like, when I fight anyone, I don't want excuses.
Yeah, you want them to be at
their best. I
want
them to be at their best.
Yeah.
So when I beat them, there's no excuses. You know what I mean? So I hope Billel trains, like, I know he's going to train his heart out. I know he's going to train real hard. I hope he gets through the camp with no injuries. I hope he shows up, because I'm going to show up. And if he doesn't, anyone else?
Do you have any way you see the fight playing out? It's easy to say from non-boxer, but
I don't think he can. I don't think he can. He can't hurt me. He can't knock me out. I don't think he can outbox me. I don't see. I don't see how he can beat me. So yeah, I don't see what he could do to beat me. I think I got him covered. But you know what? It's been years. He might surprise me. He might bring something. But I've got a repertoire. I've got, like, I can do it all. That's the difference, you know. I can do it all. No, it's all good, though. Yeah, sweet.
Card's full.
How much longer are we got on this?
I'm not sure. We might have 10, 15 minutes left
sweet.
of that one. So that's
the boxing, eh? But
That's
yeah,
the
you know,
boxing.
we'll hopefully get that fight sorted in March, and I think we're going through all the processes now to get that sorted.
Let's talk about your merch and stuff.
And the business, yeah. So yeah, the merch. I don't know. I just I don't think anyone in the country's got better merch than I do. I think I do it better than some of the actual clothing companies, and I do it from myself in my garage. And you know, I've got a cool little team of creators and people that I reach out to. This is my new one. This will be up on the site, and that is the One Mob Apparel.
And designed this.
Yeah, so I told him the theme. This is my logo that I got designed. You'll see it. Well, that's my logo I got designed. So I just collabed with him. I'm like, hey, would you be able to do this color schemes? And he'd come up with a design, and we're like, yeah, sweet. This beanie, this is one of my beanies as well. Like a design, if I had the money, I'd have like a full range in that. But you know,
soon
I'll be like yay. You can't call him Kanye no more. It's
Yay,
just Yay.
Yeah,
Just
sorry.
Yay. Sorry.
Kanye.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. If you're watching this,
sorry for disrespect.
Sorry, Yay. No, we didn't mean the disrespect. Hopefully this gets to Yay. If this gets to Yay,
hopefully you still come on after
all love. Yeah, we'll
disrespected
have you on. We'll have you on anytime.
What about the business? You've got
construction.
construction company.
The scaffolding and waste management, like skip bins and that. You know, just given as an indigenous run company. I've got a guy who helps me run it, the actual construction side of it, and then I'm just managing I'm the Aboriginal employment development officer for the company, and also the CEO. So we're just giving indigenous people opportunities and giving them hopefully give them careers, lifelong careers, you know what I mean, and give them security where they can go for them. It's hard, man. If you don't have that money coming in, how are you going to get them loans and how are you going to get them nice cars? So giving them the stability, the full-time work where they can go for these loans and buy their houses and that, because a lot of us, I don't know many indigenous people that own their houses that aren't athletes. Yeah. That just through the work, you know what I mean? Just through working, like how many Aboriginal CEOs did you know in the 90s that owned, like in the early, like no one. So
it's a different path.
It's a different path. I'm giving these guys the opportunities, and hopefully we kick some ass, man, make some money and make some. My money's good, you know. Everyone thinks like when you're like, oh, I want to make some. That's the first thing that you should be doing, because I don't do anything for free. I try not to do anything for free.
Helps you do it whatever you want.
That's it, man. So
fuck. 2 parts of the best.
Oh man, we didn't even get into the indigenous things. We wanted to talk about we didn't even talk about Australia Day and all that stuff. But I guess we'll have to do it. We got to run it back
after your fight.
Let's get a few peeps in here and do just an open big discussion one time. We got to do that. We got to organise it where we do that. I'll gladly come on once. We should do a month wrap up of everything that's going on through the month, and then come back and have a wrap up. What have you been doing? How's this going? I didn't even ask much about you. I guess
that's all right.
Next time. Next one. We have to get the kids together.
100%. We've got to wrap it up before this card goes full. What a story. What a chat. We look forward when your fight's out. You will announce it.
I'll announce
officially.
Jump on Paul Showtime Fleming on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff. I post a lot of funny stories and shit as well.
In the description, the website for your merch and stuff. That'll be in the description.
And I'll put the link up for this, guys. So jump on and give us a listen and give us your feedback and
100%.
Answer them questions too. What's your home remedy?
100%.
All that. We want to hear all them questions through the things.
And
It'd
your
be
biggest rabbit hole.
Your biggest rabbit hole. Oh, and if you can post a link in a video to the rabbit hole, I'd love it.
Was the fight maybe in Sydney?
I think it's in Sydney.
I think
it's in Sydney. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it. You know where to find me. Enjoy. Stay safe.
That's it. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next episode.
Stay woke, peeps.
Let's go.
Peace.